Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Have an update today, February the 15th, 2020, on the Diamond Princess out of Yokohama, Japan. This ship has been capturing the world's media attention now for 10 days, and we've got all kinds of news for you. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, by the way, giving my videos thumbs ups. Love your comments too. And thank you for becoming followers of my Facebook group page and also my Instagram page. We're getting all kinds of followers there watching the updates. Now, folks, just before we get into the Diamond Princess, just to let you know, we at Traveling with Bruce are going on our first ever group cruise this December, just about 290 odd days away from now. We're going to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. We're going to take a one-week cruise on the Harmony of the Seas. Ambrin Travel is our travel agency that's handling all of this for us. All the details are down below in the description. We even have a video about this cruise coming up. If you want to have a one-week getaway in the Caribbean with the TWB family, just check the information out below and check it out with Ambrin. I'd love to have you come along. All right, well, let's talk about the news of the day here. The Diamond Princess cruise ship in Yokohama, Japan. We're into the last 4 days of quarantine. Today being February the 15th, 2020. She's supposed to be released from quarantine on February the 19th, 4 days from now. The latest news coming out of the ship, there's lots of it. 67 additional cases of this virus have been detected, bringing the total number of passengers and crew to 285. Keep in mind, over 3,600 people were on this ship when it first set sail now almost 3.5 weeks ago. Of the 285, only 2 are in serious condition in area hospitals. The remainder, all passengers who have tested positive, have been taken off the ship to area hospitals for treatment, and only 2 are in serious condition. That is good news, considering that some of these folks were detected with this back as far back as 10, 12 days ago. Other news, the United States has announced that they are going to evacuate their citizens off of this ship starting as early as tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, folks, Japan is 12 hours ahead of North America, where I am, and really this sounds to me more like Monday, our day, Monday, or Monday, Japan day is when this is going to happen. But nonetheless, 428 American citizens are on board this ship. I suspect that as we speak right now, the U.S. State Department, they have been coordinating with Japanese government officials and health officials. The CDC are involved. The story, I believe that what's happening is Americans are being tested for sure to make sure that they are able to disembark the ship. If they don't have the virus, they can then obviously evacuate. The story apparently is that 2 aircraft will be arriving into Japan, into Tokyo, and that the planes will fly directly to the Travis Air Force Base in California. And from that location, some of the folks will move on to Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. So obviously those folks who live closer to the eastern part of the U.S. will head to Texas. Those who are in the western part of the U.S. will stay in California. And they will then have an additional 14 days of quarantine at these bases, Air Force bases, arranged by the CDC. From everything I'm hearing, I don't believe any American will not take the offer. I suspect they'll want to get off the ship here and at least have a change of scenery, get home, and likely have a lot more space to live in and move around in, and of course, be treated to American food prepared by Americans. Not that there's anything wrong with Princess, but I think that the monotony of the stay is just going to be too much. And can you blame them? There was a 2-week cruise that these folks took. Now a 2-week quarantine on the ship, almost 28 days on the ship. Yeah, I would be ready for a change of pace, knowing that I'm being flown home to the USA. And at least have home cooking and be that much closer to my relatives when the 14-day quarantine period is over. Yes, this will be a welcome bit of news. Other nationalities, I know of 80 folks from the United Kingdom that are on this ship. There are Australians and Canadians. Story also goes that the United Kingdom is working behind the scenes with Japanese authorities to evacuate UK citizens. I would not be surprised that Australia and Canada and Germany, other countries with nationals, are doing exactly the same thing. I get the impression, though, that for the Americans, that's kind of the test run. They're the biggest group other than Japanese nationals that are on this ship, and I think that the Japanese government would be is quite happy to work and assist the Americans to evacuate their nationals first, and then work from there on the others. The Japanese nationals, I think after the 19th, if they test anyone who tests negative as of the 19th, I suspect they'll be allowed to basically return home in Japan to where they live, and then just obviously check in with their own personal doctors going forward. It's a complicated and difficult story to work on. It's a complicated issue here with this ship. I have also heard that after the passengers are all disembarked, and that's 2,600 plus, the next stage will be that the crew will then be on a quarantine. And the story is that the entire crew will stay on board the ship for at least a 2-week quarantine with testing. So it sounds to me like this ship isn't going anywhere. It's going to stay here. I don't know about the cleaning up of the ship and every cabin. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. I'm sure there are logistics being discussed here between Princess and the Japanese health authorities. But the big picture is that after the employees have been given the all clear, and any employees who haven't, of course, if they test positive, they'll go to area hospitals. But if they've been given the all clear after 14 days, it's likely then that Princess will arrange to fly home these workers to their native countries for their fully paid 2 months off time, so that they in effect can get 2 months off at full pay, and then they will rearrange with their crew members their next assignments. The ship itself, I kind of get the impression that additional crew will be brought in here, folks with hazmat suits and everything else, and they will really disinfect this ship. I'm guessing in Yokohama, but I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out, for the life of me, what country would allow this ship to leave Yokohama and come into their port for a cleaning. I can't think of any country. So I would imagine that this ship will stay here in Yokohama or in this region and be disinfected and cleaned out here, and given the once over. And hopefully, I guess a month from now, the ship will be given the all clear to start sailing again. The question is from where, what crew will be on board, all the logistics. I mean, this is just going to be a long time before this ship is back in regular service. Its home port is Yokohama. So one would think that after being all cleaned up and given the green light, that it would just start embarking, taking on new passengers from Yokohama, and continuing on its Asian cruise itinerary. We'll follow it. Lots to follow here. I just think about probably the tens of millions of dollars. Maybe this might hit 50 million or more in actual costs that have been incurred here by all parties. Not only the cruise line, not only the passengers' personal costs, of course all the reimbursements that are being done obviously by the cruise line for the passengers, but the cost to Japan with all of its staff, all of its people, all of the security, the incredible amount of medical dedication and dollars that have been poured into here. It's just got to be an absolute mind-blowing amount of money that has been eaten up on this unprecedented situation. I mean, this is not like this happens every day. This is one of those right out of left field. Who would have thought that a cruise ship at the end of a cruise would then be quarantined for 2 weeks, and case after case after case would keep popping up of this virus. So yeah, the cost to this is running. The meter is running, and it's running at a very fast pace. A country like Japan can definitely foot the bill at the beginning, but there will be bills presented, I'm sure, to the Carnival Corporation and others for reimbursement here. I had heard, I believe, a story a couple days ago that the Japanese Parliament had authorized the huge sum of money, hundreds of millions of dollars in reserve capital, just for treatment of this virus Japan-wide. But I can tell you, I bet you that a vast majority of those dollars are being targeted right here at this cruise ship, at this cruise port. And everyone around the world, every health authority around the world is watching this very, very closely and studying how this Japanese model is working. They'll take the best of what works, they'll discard the worst of it, and a year or two from now, an analysis will be done. And down the road, if something like this comes up again, there will be some kind of a playbook, I suppose, that one can refer to. I don't know. Anyway, there you go, guys. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is reality. The Diamond Princess. Good news, I guess, is the days of passengers being stuck on board are numbered. They will be disembarking in stages here and heading home. And of course, then they have to deal with their quarantine period at home. You can imagine that some of these folks had no idea when they left their homes to get on this ship for a cruise that they would be involved in a 6 to 8 week ordeal, just to beat this virus. Unbelievable. What a story. Thank you for tolerating this long video and all my videos. I appreciate those of you who are subscribing to Traveling with Bruce. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the TWB family. Those of you who watch my videos and give me thumbs ups, I cannot thank you enough. It makes such a difference on the analytics with YouTube. Thank you for your comments, whether they're positive or negative. Prefer the positive ones, but whatever. And again, those of you who are joining my Facebook group page, Traveling with Bruce, spelled with 2 L's, thank you for coming on by. A lot of us hang out on the Facebook group page between these shows, and also the Instagram page for Traveling with Bruce. You folks are finding it, and a bunch of you are beginning to follow it. I love it. Jennifer is handling the Instagram account and learning how to make more and more interesting posts. We're going to start running poll questions and all kinds of other stuff on there. So yeah, head on over to Instagram and sign on to that too. And thank you for all your support of TWB. Have a good one, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.